In the Kingdom Hearts series, there are a fuck ton of villains. Some are good, and some are bad, but we could all agree that Maleficent and Pete were the biggest losers of all of the fucking villains in the entire Kingdom Hearts series. Ah yeah, good old Maleficent and Pete. A really iconic duo, in fact. They kinda remind me of these guys, don't you think? Maleficent and Pete are the funniest and most laughable villains in the entire Kingdom Hearts series, and that makes them perfect candidates for tonight's Kingdom Hearts character stories video. Roll the intro. Since Pete is not even introduced up until Kingdom Hearts 2, let's start with Maleficent. In Kingdom Hearts 1, Maleficent is introduced as this witch who is manipulating and using Riku in hopes of realizing her dumb illusions of the power over all worlds. This is still a point where she could be taken seriously and may even seem as some sort of a threat. Towards the end of the game, in Hollow Bastion, Sora, Donald, and Goofy finally encounter her and fight her for the first time. The fight itself is nothing special and relatively easy. However, after the fight, Ansem / Riku comes into the mix and quite literally stabs her, giving her some bullshit power that turns her into some powerful mystic dragon type shit. And for that fight, I can say certainly that I have PTSD from, because that fight was hard as fuck. I wasted so much time, I failed it so many times, that it's not even freaking funny. And like I said, I pretty much still have PTSD whenever I have to fight this freaking dragon Maleficent thing. Okay, all jokes aside now, this is where Maleficent is probably the most threatening and is pretty much at the peak of her power, right? So after this obsession with the power of darkness, quite literally, she gets killed and is not seen until Kingdom Hearts 2. In Kingdom Hearts 2, Maleficent finally comes back, thanks to the 3 fairies remembering her name. This is a time where she has an accomplice who is probably even a bigger joke than her, and that accomplice is Mr. Pete, the big fat cat. Yeah, this guy. His first attempt at accomplishing anything at all was when she tried to take over Disney Castle. Would you look at those thorns, man? I gotta say, those are some like juicy thorns, man. By messing with the Cornerstone of Light and the whole chamber where that Cornerstone of Light is kept. However, Pete is given another task by her, and that task is to destroy the Cornerstone of Light. And since she hired Pete for the job, we could already assume that the job did go according to plan. And that assumption would definitely be correct, since Pete is stopped by Sora, Donald, and Goofy yet again. Now, since Pete is as useless as always, Maleficent tried to hire a new accomplice for the next job she has in order, and that job being destroying Sora, Donald, and Goofy, right? And this accomplice is none other than the big fat bag of bugs by the name of Oogie Boogie, right? Their master plan was to have Oogie Boogie kidnap Santa Claus, which would lead to our main characters falling right into their trap where they would try to get rid of us together. Also failing miserably in that plan, it could be assumed that the main reason for their failure is the falling out they had right after kidnapping Santa Claus. The next time we see Maleficent and Pete is in Radiant Garden, where Pete is the first one to run when he sees a horde of nobodies that is about to wipe out all of their Heartless. Soon after, Sora and the gang appear, triggering Maleficent's PTSD from the KH1 events.
Oh no, I shit my pants.
Thus making her run away and leaving the Heartless in charge of dealing with Sora and the gang. The next situation is probably Maleficent's stupidest attempt at taking over Kingdom Hearts, calling it her dominion. And she sends another horde of Heartless right after us. Sax is also present in this scene, and after Maleficent spawns in the horde of Heartless, he just casually snaps his fingers, sends in nobodies who pretty much instantly suffocate Maleficent's Heartless. After that whole drama comes one of the most unexpected moments in Kingdom Hearts 2, and arguably in the entire series, right? I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just playing the scene for you guys, and you guys can comment on that right after the video. So enjoy the scene, and we'll be coming back.
While I keep these creatures at bay, you devise a way to vanquish them forever.
Maleficent.
Do not misunderstand me. I shall have my revenge on you yet.
Maleficent!
Leave now.
I don't take orders from you. But what about...
And the final time Maleficent and Pete are seen in Kingdom Hearts 2 is towards the very end of the game, in the world that never was. Here they try to take over the organization's castle, because as they say, third time's a charm. Yeah, no. Once again, they overestimated themselves a lot this time, but they still went and sent all of their Heartless right after Xemnas and the other nobodies, after which they never appear again in the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. Now it's time to take a look at what Maleficent was like before the time of Sora and Riku and the others, so more specifically during the events of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep is the only game where I can say that she was not completely stupid and actually accomplished anything at all. She's first seen when Terra arrives to Enchanted Dominion and tries to manipulate Terra into stealing Princess Aurora's heart, which Terra of course refuses, but Maleficent has another plan for Terra. When Terra finally reaches Aurora's chamber, he gets possessed by Maleficent and unwillingly takes Aurora's heart, leading Maleficent to her first and probably the only success ever in the entire series. Ven and Aqua also encounter her during their own stories and defeat her after she tries to feed them lies about Terra willingly taking Aurora's heart, which of course Ven and Aqua didn't buy and beat her later in the fight. Aqua encounters her by herself again, however this time in her dragon form. Aqua wins this fight again, and the next scene explains how Maleficent and Pete met and how she busted Pete out of some dimension where he was being held captive. In exchange for her getting him out, he has to do whatever she wants him to do. That is how he became her kind of sidekick, whatever you want to call it, right? Now we move on to Kingdom Hearts Coded, or Recoded, whatever you want to call it. Here we find out that somehow she survived the destruction of the world that never was, and she appears in the data version of Agrabah. She also sends Pete to spy on the gang at Disney Castle at this time when she is in Agrabah. She also tries to resume her old plan of taking over all the worlds, and she would try to use the Heartless from Jiminy's journal to do so. Meanwhile, back in Agrabah, she almost takes out Data Sora and destroys his Data Keyblade, but Mickey and Riku come in clutch and help Sora, but things go south when Pete manages to kidnap Riku and take him to the Data version of Hollow Bastion. Here, Data Sora has to fight her in her dragon form and manages to win the fight. Later, Data Riku manages to save them with the help of a rift in the Data, which finally makes Maleficent and Sora even for the time when she saved Sora in the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. In Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, Maleficent also tries some stupid shit, when she attacks the Disney Castle again, while Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are focused on Riku and Sora's mastery exam. When she gets inside the castle, she again does, guess what? Kidnap someone. This time it's Queen Minnie.
May I please offer you my applause? You fucking motherfucker! Dude!
Later in the castle, Maleficent reveals that she knows Xehanort from the Birth by Sleep times, and that she learned about the 7 princesses right from him. Maleficent demands that Mickey hands over all the digital worlds in exchange for Minnie. Mickey refuses this and is attacked by her, but thankfully she is stopped by Lee, who we already talked about on this channel. You guys might want to check out the video I made on Lee. Go ahead and see it in the description. I posted a link, so if you guys want, check it out. Alright, back to the video. So, Lee hits Pete and allows Minnie to escape back to Mickey. Finally, Maleficent realizes that she has no chance and is outnumbered. With their again unsuccessful plan, Maleficent and Pete do what? They escape, right? Okay. Now we move on to the events of Kingdom Hearts 3. In the last game of the Dark Seeker saga, we don't really see much of Maleficent and Pete, but we know that they're searching for the black box. They eventually do find it, but realize it's in the Keyblade graveyard and is being guarded by Lucio and the other foretellers. And that is where they presumably give up their search, and that is the last we see of them, at least for now. So in conclusion, these were very interesting and funny characters to make a video on. I had a lot of fun making this one, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and opinions about these characters in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see you whenever, and bye bye.